are getting ready on their side. DA, I remember the interview you did with that time sixth man of the year, Steph, after the one game he came off of the bench. He hasn't shown much rust since then. How about how quickly we've seen ankles be an issue now on this team with a couple of players, how quickly he's been able to come back and look like Steph form?
Well, it took him a couple of series. I mean, he came back in the middle of the New Orleans series and was a little rusty. The first game he played great with the adrenaline, and then the next 2 or 3 games of that series, he really kind of struggled a little bit. But I think getting through that series helped, and I think I'd say about midway through the Houston series, he really started to look like himself again, and has carried that throughout the last 4 or 5 games that the Warriors have played. Certainly, the first 2 games of the finals, he looks like the Steph Curry of old, completely healthy. He has said throughout this that his knee was fine. He has continued to maintain that once he came back, his knee was fine. But I do think the timing, the rust, some of those things did take a while for him to get through.
I think the other part that's interesting, DA, is the fact that the opponents that you play sometimes can impact how it is that a coaching staff is going to view your return to the floor. Mm-hmm. So for Steph to come back against the uber-fast, high-paced, high-octane offense of New Orleans was something that they were cautious of. But I think that helped him when it came to the Houston series, where it was going to be down to isolation play. And so that has helped him settle in. The opponents sometimes can impact how your confidence grows with what you can do, how you can do it, and when you can do it.
No question, no question. And the New Orleans series was kind of, it was kind of an outlier because Durant had such a physical advantage over the Pelicans defenders. I mean, actually, I thought Jrue Holiday was the best guy, the best defender against him, but for the most part, Durant, it was like shooting over a chair. I mean, he could just get whatever shot he wanted. It was hard not to go to that matchup. It was also hard not to play at the pace that the Pelicans wanted to play at, because that's the pace the Warriors like to play at. So you're exactly right. Once the series slowed down, I do think the first 2 or 3 games against Houston, it took the whole team a while to figure out, with the switching off the ball on the weak side, especially Bones. They just really discombobulated them for a while. Now, they grounded out and they figured it out as the series went on, but it did take them a few games to figure it out.
DA, there's no question if anybody underrated the importance of Andre Iguodala before the playoffs. They're not now, which makes it even scarier that it's a 2-0 lead in this series anyway. What's the status on Iggy and where we stand with him?
Well, right now, I still don't know if Game 3 is a possibility for him. He is starting to shoot. That's important because he hadn't been doing that until very recent, the last couple of days, and doing some things on the floor he had not been able to do previously. Now, that doesn't mean he's playing in Game 3. I'm not sure we're there yet, and we'll hear what Steve Kerr has to say in a bit on that. But I think the confidence level is that at some point, if this series gets to Games 6 and 7, you'll see Iguodala back on the floor. But make no mistake, it was a bone bruise, and, 3D and Bones, you guys know this better than anybody. When you have a bone bruise, it's there until it's not there, and then you wake up one morning and it's not there anymore and you're good to go. But until then, you're not, and so that's where Iguodala still is.
DA, appreciate it. Thank you. We'll check in with you later in the show. Thanks.
Sure.